Prime Minister Modi in Manipur. In Manipur, Prime Minister outlined the government's focused development agenda for the state, highlighting significant progress in housing, water supply and connectivity as the state advances alongside the rest of India. In fact, speaking at a public rally in Churachandpur a couple of minutes ago, the Prime Minister reaffirmed India's broader economic ambitions, stating that the country is on track to become the world's third largest economy in the near future. He in fact also emphasized how decisions that once took decades to reach Manipur now translate into rapid development on the ground.
स्पेशल पैकेज भी स्वीकृत किया गया है। विस्थापितों की मदद के लिए 500 करोड़ रुपए का विशेष प्रावधान किया गया है। साथियों, मैं मणिपुर के ट्राइबल नौजवानों के सपने और उनके संघर्षों के बारे में अच्छी तरह जानता हूं। आपकी चिंताओं को दूर करने के लिए अलग अलग समाधानों पर काम हो रहे हैं। सरकार का प्रयास है कि गवर्नेंस की जो लोकल बॉडीज है उनको भी मजबूत किया जाए। इनके विकास के लिए उचित फंड्स की व्यवस्था भी की जा रही है। साथियों, आज हर ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी का विकास ये देश की प्राथमिकता है। पहली बार आदिवासी क्षेत्रों के विकास के लिए धरती आबा जनजातीय ग्राम उत्कर्ष अभियान चल रहा है। इसके तहत मणिपुर के 500 से ज्यादा गांवों में विकास के काम हो रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi drew attention to the impact of the centre's welfare schemes in Manipur, noting that nearly 60,000 pucca houses have been constructed, providing thousands of families with dignity and secure living conditions. He also stressed the importance of peace and stability for sustainable development, referring to his recent interactions with the families residing in relief camps and expressing optimism about a quote-unquote new dawn of hope and trust emerging in the state.
मणिपुर की ये धरती, ये क्षेत्र आशा और उम्मीद की भूमि है, लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से हिंसा ने इस शानदार इलाके को अपनी चपेट में ले लिया था। थोड़ी देर पहले मैं उन प्रभावित लोगों से मिला हूं जो कैंप्स में रह रहे हैं। उनसे बातचीत के बाद मैं कह सकता हूं कि उम्मीद और विश्वास की नई सुबह मणिपुर में दस्तक दे रही है। साथियों, किसी भी स्थान पर विकास के लिए शांति की स्थापना बहुत जरूरी है। बीते 11 वर्षों में नॉर्थ ईस्ट में दशकों से चल रहे अनेक विवाद, अनेक संघर्ष समाप्त हुए हैं। लोगों ने शांति का रास्ता चुना है, विकास को प्राथमिकता दी है। मुझे संतोष है कि हाल ही में हिल्स और वैली में अलग अलग ग्रुप्स के साथ समझौतों के लिए बातचीत की शुरुआत हुई है। ये भारत सरकार के उन प्रयासों का हिस्सा है जिसमें संवाद, सम्मान और आपसी समझ को महत्व देते हुए शांति की स्थापना के लिए काम किया जा रहा है।
Furthering the development drive, the Prime Minister laid the foundation stone for multiple projects in Churachandpur worth over 7,300 crore rupees. These include the Manipur Urban Roads, Drainage and Asset Management Improvement Project valued at more than 3,600 crore rupees, 5 national highway projects totaling over 2,500 crore rupees, the Manipur Infotech Development, which is MIND project, and the construction of Working Women Hostels at 9 locations. These initiatives are expected to significantly improve infrastructure, connectivity and social welfare across the state of Manipur, also reinforcing the government's commitment to the region's growth and integration with national progress. All right, let's try to understand the significance of Prime Minister's much-awaited visit to Manipur. Crucial developments coming in. We have already highlighted what all has been inaugurated. Prime Minister Modi is en route to Imphal now. Deputy Managing Editor of News9, Kartika Sharma, is sitting alongside me. And News9 has been the channel since the inception of violence in Manipur. We have been tracking all the developments coming in from the strife-torn state of Manipur. Kartika Sharma has been the man who has covered all angles of it. Kartika, let me begin with you, and let me also introduce our guest, Dr. M. Ramananda Singh, Associate Professor, KMC, Delhi University, joining us for the chat. Kartika, opening comments on what does this visit of Prime Minister Modi to Manipur after 864 days of violence?
I think that there are two aspects of it. Prime Minister couldn't have gone to Manipur because the situation was very, very volatile. And Prime Minister could only go to Manipur then when two basic issues were settled. What were the two basic issues? The two basic issues were the Sioux militants and other was the territorial integrity of Manipur. When Biren Singh was the Chief Minister, Biren Singh abolished the Sioux Pacts. Second thing he did that was he went against the free movement regime. Thirdly, there was an intense campaign against poppy cultivation, which is perfect. On the other hand, the Cookies said we want separate administration. We will not go to Valley. We will have nothing to do with the Maiti leadership. These were two polarizing positions. Ministry of Home Affairs had to resolve it. Now, first they thought they could resolve the situation with Biren Singh. When they couldn't, not only the Chief Minister was changed, subsequently the new governor had to be called in. So this has happened under the new governor. And if you look at these photographs are of the Prime Minister travelling through Manipur. He couldn't take helicopter. So the Prime Minister of India has taken the road trip from Churachandpur to Imphal. Why? Because the weather is bad, helicopter wouldn't have been able to move. So it also goes on to show that the Prime Minister is making a point that he will go to Imphal and he's going to go to Kangra Fort, which got mired in the controversy where Arambai Tengol was also present and people had to, MLAs had to take oath, and it created a lot of bad blood. Now Home Ministry reconciled all that. Home Ministry first renegotiated the Sioux agreement. One, tougher implementation of locks and keys, closer to the CRPF and BSF camps, major audit of the weapons of the Sioux militants which are kept inside the lock rooms. The second one was to tell them that you will say you acknowledge the territorial integrity of Manipur. They did. Then there was a resolution on free movement between hill and valley. Now that got broken, but at least on paper they agree. There was a breakthrough, and that is why the Prime Minister could come to Manipur. The larger challenge for the administration is that how will they ensure that the assembly functions? Because Kuki MLAs and Meiti MLAs didn't sit together. If they can't work in an assembly within one party, how do you expect civil society members to do that? I think that is where the challenge is going to be.
Okay. All right. I understood. Dr. Singh, let me now come to you. Have your opening remarks, because I think the key highlight is that Prime Minister, to his trip to Manipur, began it with the very epicenter of violence, which is Churachandpur. And also we heard him speaking about economy, we heard him speaking about reforms, infrastructure, development over there. So, Mr. Singh, I want to understand from you, what do you think of the significance of Prime Minister's visit, specifically first up beginning from Churachandpur?
Thank you. Basically, this visit, yes, it is much-awaited visit by the people of Manipur. But I, personal opinions and my observation of the sentiment of the people of Manipur right now, after the 2 years, this visit may not have much impact on the psychology of the people, because the warn the people received during this conflict has so much expanded, and it linger on for a longer period of time. So I have seen the sentiments a little different, but the initiatives is good. We welcome that, but the impact which we are expecting, which is not in that direction at the moment now. Why I'm saying like this? Because the development, the project has been inaugurated and will be inaugurated in Imphal also. But the issue now is still, not solved. Number one, the IDP is not moving to their own, place. The IDPs are still in the relief camps, and some of the IDP, they managed to live in the rent somewhere close by their relatives. So still the larger pictures of 60,000 people around, they are not, restored back. So that is the big issues, number one. Number two, as Kartike has already mentioned about the still the negotiations about the opening of the highway is still not practically not done, because still you can't move, like Meitei people can move beyond certain zone. Is still the paper may say something different, but still you can't move across every regions of the state. Like, Kuki cannot come to Imphal, and the Meitei cannot go to Churachandpur or More, or maybe the Senapati, like that. So yes, government has to do little more, and some of the impressions which I'm sharing through the people of Manipur is that this visit is a good, but it's more a sense of political in nature rather than the intent, because love without heart will not work much properly. So people are saying that this visit is much weighted, but that impact has not been reached to the heart of the people. Many organization has opposed this visit because of the wound, because of the pain they have suffered for so long period of time. If this visit has been planned, some years back, then it will have much impact. I do really hope for that, because I do share about this with the Kartike also during his covering, because he has patiently and very deeply and intently cover this whole process of more than 2 years.
Right.
Your channel is fantastic, doing great job about issues. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right, right. Dr. Singh, I'll request you to please stay on with me. Kartikeya, three big developments here, something that you have already touched upon, a renewal of SU with MHA, but only involving KZC in here. What about the dissent coming in from Kokomi on that?
See, that, okay. Now, the SU agreements predates the rise of Kokomi in the Manipuri politics. Now, Kokomi is a civil society organization. You have other civil society organizations, the Cookies, and they exert pressure on the government. Mera Paibi is another civil society organization, though they have a very strong role, fraternity of women who have been doing a great job, but became politicized in this issue. Larger thing is that most of the civil society actors should function within the rubric of the government. What they did was they usurped the power of the government. Now, the counter argument could have been that, well, the government did not exert itself, so power abhors vacuum. So, civil society actors became more powerful, and they started taking up the power of the government. Right. But then what they did was, instead of bringing reconciliation, they sharpened the position. They made such tall vertical positions that they were difficult to reconcile. And it is for this reason, for 2 years, you had civil society actors talking about things where the state leadership, MLAs, retired bureaucrats of the government of the day should have been visible. So, if you look at the repertoire of the people speaking on Manipur, it's not more than 30 in national local channels, because that's the others went silent. So, talking about the SU agreement was signed when UPA was in power. SU agreement has been renegotiated by Delhi also under Bharatiya Janata Party. SU agreement is about surrendered militants. They get to keep their weapons inside locks and they have their camps. It is not something new. India has tried this all across Northeast and even in other parts outside Northeast. Something, for example, Salva Judum, but the Supreme Court came down on it. It was in Chhattisgarh. But point is, it has worked in Manipur. What was not working was that they started demanding separate administration.
Right.
So separate administration was about territorial integrity. Now Naga said we believe in Greater Nagaland, but Greater Nagaland encapsulates a part of Manipur. So what do you do about it? So what the government is trying to do is to bring peace to a state that was peaceful. Lal Denga Award in 1980s was signed, and since then there had been no insurgency in Mizoram. Mizoram is one state in India where the government of the day used Air Force to bomb the headquarters. Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. She bombed Aizawl because Aizawl would have been taken over by the insurgents. Nothing of that sort happened in Manipur. Manipur was never taken over by insurgents. The problem was that everything was so polarized, rancid, that the Meiteis would say we want Manipuri police, the Kukis would say no, we want Assam rifles, and there's a historical reason. The Kukis fought with Assam rifles against the Naga insurgents. So there's a sense of bonding there. But the point is now that there was a feeling that, there's so much of cross-border migration and Kukis are not opposed to it because they are part of one ethnic community, the Zo people. So it's a complex issue. We need to understand that, the identity shaping of geography in Northeast is not a static affair. It moves. And then even ethnicities move within Northeast. So, and then comes the problem of land. The population has exploded, land is limited. So it's a complex issue. I think it's a good step taken by the Prime Minister that he has chosen to go there. He's chosen to speak. He is going to give a speech at the Kangla Fort, which is the historic seat of the Manipuri royalty. And Manipur is one state which, which by decree became part of Indian Union voluntarily, like many others. There's a great Vaishnavite culture in Manipur. Though Manipur also has a older faith, Sanamahi. So Sanamahi and Vaishnavism is practiced side by side in Manipur. So there's a lot of complexity in the state. The only issue is that in this complexity or in this inter-ethnic relationship, the trust has been breached so much that the people do not cross into other majority areas. I think that is bad. It's like line of control. I think that needs to defreeze. That is where the challenge is going to be, and civil society organization, my conclusion is that instead of trying to resolve the issue, they poured so much of oil in the fire that they solidified bitterness.
Speaking on the divide, Dr. Singh, since Kartikeya has highlighted, we know there is no direct communication between the two major communities in Manipur. Still, there is the connectivity issue also. Don't you think, since you have said that this visit of Prime Minister should have come earlier, don't you think now, even if he is visiting, the reopening of NH2 and also initiation of something does mean something to people of Manipur? It does highlight something?
Yeah, basically the idea is that still, see, the project, inauguration of project work is a one way. You have to see the current issues. Now, this will impact on the implementation part also. It is not just ignore the inaugurate some projects there, but how do you implement that? It is also another question which is coming up. Without the having a peace in Manipur, the project which are initiated, which will be good for the state, will not be properly implemented also. So the major important point is you have to resolve this issue. The Prime Minister's visit should not be just end, and the should be starting point, and it should at least try to convince the communities and settle the whole issues of Manipur's together. Yes, it may take time, but I think in that direction, I am not getting a concrete initiative. Yes, they have done some meetings together, but not proper, like a plan of actions, and some actions on that is not coming yet. So the placing the governance rule, how much time it will be, last for it, but so the our and Manipur should be peaceful. Only then whatever the development you plan, it will be more successful. So my idea is that without having a proper peaceful and negotiation between these two community, your the implementations of the proposed project will not also be very successful. So the first target should be focused on the restorations of the peace and the restorations of the IDP people to their hometown, their home place, so that the two community can live together. Only then the other development plan will definitely help the state to grow. So this is my submission.
All right, Dr. Singh, thank you so much for joining us for the conversation here. I would also like to thank our
Yeah.
Deputy Managing Editor Kartikeya Sharma for highlighting the key details with regards to the violence in Manipur that transpired 2.5 years ago there in the Stifton state, and also what does this visit of Prime Minister Modi after so long mean to the state, and can it be considered as initiation of something, initiation of betterment for the state?